Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Heist fellow here. I hope everyone is doing alright. In this video, I'm going to show you how to pull off the Diamond Casino Heist finale solo, meaning all by yourself, by using two different computers with two different copies of GTA Online with two different characters, while you control both the characters yourself. Towards the end of the video, I will also show you how to do the replay glitch by pulling off your Ethernet cable out at the appropriate time. I will also show all the different vault variations that you can come across during the Diamond Casino Heist finale. Mostly people panic when they enter the vault and they end up making a lot of mistakes which can result in a smaller take. By following my guidelines and methods, you will be more confident when you enter the vault because you will already know the different variations that you can come across and also how to tackle it in the best way possible to maximize your take. All the guidelines that I'm going to show you in this video are going to be useful for you even if you're going to do the finale with your friends. So it does not matter if you do this solo or with friends, all the guidelines are going to be useful for you anyway. So let's just jump right in. So ladies and gentlemen, the most important thing you have to make sure of is that you are doing the big con approach at normal difficulty. Hard difficulty is indicated by a skull, as you can see it here on the aggressive approach. So you have to make sure that there is no skull on the big con approach. This is important because whenever you open locked doors at hard difficulty, you have to solve more than one puzzle to open the door. That can cost you a lot of time, especially when you're doing this solo. So this is why I highly recommend that you do the big con approach at normal difficulty. You also have to make sure that you have scoped out gold as the vault content, and you also have to make sure that you have scoped out all the access points, including the most important, the sewer tunnel and also the staff lobby. Heading over to the prep missions, I always recommend you to get the cheapest gunman because we do not have any plans to get detected and also we do not plan to get into a fight. I always like to get the cheapest driver, which is Kareem, and I love to get Sentinel Classics because these are drag race cars and they're extremely fast and they're really fun to drive. Always get Paige because she's gonna give you 3 minutes and 25 seconds, which is more than enough that you're gonna need in the vault. You do not need more than this. There is also another hacker who takes 10% of the cut and gives you 3 minutes and 30 seconds in the vault, but you do not need those additional 5 seconds. So Paige is the best that we have. Always select group sec gear and the group sec van as the entry disguise because it lets you openly walk right up to the vault without any sneaking. Similarly, the firefighter gear lets you walk right out of the casino without any hassle. You should always get level 2 security pass. This is important because this lets you open all the doors on the lower levels in the basement. You will not be able to do that with level 1 pass. If you're going to do this solo, there is nothing else that you have to do. But if you're going to do this in multiplayer mode with your friends, then I would suggest you consider getting the power drills because you might have some time left in the vault after you're done looting the gold. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, I'll start the mission and invite my primary character over into the lobby, and then let's move ahead with the mission. Since my secondary character is the host, I'll give 85% of the share to my primary character. And you can see the rest of the setup that you need to have. I'll get both the characters in the group sec van, and while I drive to the casino, I'll explain a few things to you. I have made a similar solo guide for the Bogdan problem where I was using two different characters just like this, and I've also made a similar guide for the Cayo Perico heist finale as well. As you will be able to see it yourself, the Diamond Casino heist finale solo is much more difficult and trickier than the Cayo Perico heist finale and the Bogdan problem. Following the guide that I made for the Cayo Perico heist finale solo, you will be able to get paid $1.55 million, and for the Diamond Casino heist finale solo, you will be able to get paid $1.45 million. Whereas in the Bogdan problem, you get paid approximately $1.1 million for the primary character at 85% share. However, if I were to compare all of these three heist finales, you can do the Cayo Perico heist finale in approximately 20 minutes. You can do the Diamond Casino Heist finale solo within 20 to 25 minutes, whereas you can do the Bogdan problem solo somewhere between 10 to 15 minutes. The Cayo Perico Heist finale and the Bogdan problem are really low in complexity, whereas the Diamond Casino Heist is much more trickier and complex than both of them. Therefore, by considering the complexity and the time that you need to do each mission, I would recommend that you go for Bogdan problem because it's really simple, straightforward, it pays well and can be done repeatedly without much hassle. For the Diamond Casino Heist finale and the Cayo Perico Heist finale, you have to realize that you have to infiltrate and then escape as well. Whereas in Bogdan problem, you do not have to do any of those things. Which is why, if you're looking forward to get rich quickly, I would suggest that the number one option is the Bogdan problem. So ladies and gentlemen, getting back to the heist at hand, while I was scanning the card with my primary character, I'll get my secondary character inside the elevator and then get the primary character as well and then go down to the lower levels. Moving both the characters simultaneously is disorienting and very challenging. Therefore, I have a trick up my sleeves to do this easily. What I do, as you can notice in the primary screen, is that I align both the characters one behind the other and keep them up close, and then all I have to do is just do the same controls on both of them. So this allows me to control both the characters in a much easier way. Now that we are close to the vault, I'll take the next few moments to explain a few things about the vault variations. Every time you enter the vault, there are two variables that change. First is the arrangement of cards inside the vault, and second are the number of locked doors. There are two primary arrangements of cards with different combinations of locked doors. In difficult variants, most of the cards are sitting behind locked doors, whereas in the easy variants, most of the cards are sitting out in the open. So ladies and gentlemen, I'll show you each one of these variants with all the different combinations of locked doors and also show you how to tackle them. In the bottom right of the screen, you can see the steps that I follow for each of the characters, and with that I'm able to take $2.261 million. Skipping the card C is important because you will have no time left to take that. The least amount of time that you spend unlocking a door is 15 seconds. Therefore, if this was at hard difficulty, you would have to solve two puzzles, and that would total up to 30 seconds. This is why in the beginning I was recommending that you do the big con at normal difficulty. You must also be wondering, how do I move both of my characters around in the vault given that we have only 3 minutes and 25 seconds to do that? So what you have to realize is that when we are unlocking doors, there are these animations that we have to go through, and when we are taking a gold card, all we have to do is just click, click and click. So these are relatively simple tasks during which I can move the other character around and do something more complex with that. So these are the windows that I'm always utilizing to move both of my characters around in the vault. You can also follow these steps and practice, and with time you will also be very good at this. In the bottom right of the screen, you can see that with primary character I open 2 locked doors, and then I'm able to take 3 gold cards, E, F and D. Whereas with my secondary character, I only opened 1 locked door and I was able to take B, G, H and A. So you have to realize that when with one character you open 2 locked doors, and given that you're spending 15 seconds doing that for each lock, you will only have enough time left to take 3 gold cards. While with the other character, when you spend only 15 seconds unlocking 1 door, you will have enough time to take 4 gold cards. This is very important because if you mess up here and you try to take more than this, you will end up getting detected, as you will be able to see in the last variation that I'm going to show you. You might have also realized, if you do not already know, that the gold glitch has been patched for the Diamond Casino Heist, which is why I did not show it here. This is a relatively difficult variation of the vault because there are a total of 5 gold cards behind locked doors. Just so you know, orange is for the primary and purple is for the secondary character. Another very important piece of information that you should remember is that towards the end, we have to leave enough time to be able to move both the characters out of the vault one after the other. From this point onwards, since I'm done looting with my primary character, I'll move it outside the vault because in the last few seconds I might mess up and I have to avoid that kind of complexity of moving two characters in the last few seconds. So to avoid any mess ups, I have moved the primary character already outside the vault, and now simply after I'm done with the secondary character, I just step out of the vault. This is a different variation of the same card arrangement of the vault. In this arrangement, what you have to do is with your secondary character, you have to head up towards E and F, and after you have looted those, you can go towards D, and then you can leave the vault. While with your primary character, what you can do is take A, B, G, which are lying out in the open, and then you can open one locked door and take H as well. During the previous variation, I told you that if you open one locked door with a character, then you will have enough time left to take 4 gold cards, which you can see it here in the primary character where I take A, B, G and H while I open L4 with the primary character. Whereas you must notice that with secondary character, I opened one locked door, but I still only took E, F and D, which are 3 gold cards. I did this because the card C is sitting behind 2 locked doors, L1 and L2. And since we need 15 seconds to open one locked door, we will not have enough time to open 2 locked doors and then go and take C and still have enough time left to be able to exit the secondary character from the vault. So to stay on the safe side, we are skipping C and we only take a total of 7 gold cards. You must be wondering what kind of setup do I have. I have one desktop computer and one gaming laptop. On the laptop, I play my primary character and on the desktop, I play my secondary character. I'm constantly switching between 2 mice, 2 keyboards and 1 trackpad on my laptop. The trackpad comes in handy when with both the characters I'm taking gold and I have to keep clicking simultaneously on both the characters. So instead of reaching out with my left hand to the other mouse, what I do is I access the trackpad and just press left button on the trackpad. This is much more convenient for me rather than reaching out for the mouse. You can see the rest of the steps to be followed in order to complete this variation. This is the best gold card arrangement and locked door combinations that you can get, because in this arrangement you can take close to the maximum take possible. You can see that I was able to take $2.43842 million. If you follow the steps that I have taken in this video, and if you do them more efficiently than me, then I think you should be able to take even more than this. So ladies and gentlemen, what you have to do is with your primary character, you have to take C, B, G and F while only having to open one locked door. While with your secondary character, you can take A, E, D while opening 2 locked doors and then finally finish by taking all of H or part of H. In this variation, if you do everything right like I have done here, you might not have to skip any gold card and you might be able to take all of them. In my experience, the best way to excel at the Diamond Casino heist and maximize your take is to first of all memorize all the different variations that you can come across. So like the moment you enter the vault and you know what variation and what locked doors you have, and if you already have memorized the strategy and the steps that you have to take, you will be able to have the maximum take possible. If you're doing this multiplayer with other friends, now that also depends on the quality of your friends and how good they are at recognizing the variation and the arrangement of locked doors. As you might be familiar with the proverb that a chain is only as strong as the weakest link, which means that you should choose your team wisely, and if you're playing this multiplayer with strangers, then I highly recommend you do not do that and try to find a friend. And a friend who is good at this, because if your friends are not good, then most likely you're going to have a lot of mess ups, and then you'll have to go through a lot of loading screens and restarts. And just to avoid that, this is the reason I do this solo by myself. As you can see that I sort of got stuck here with my primary character, which is why I was not able to remove my primary character outside of the vault. So this is the reason I have such a short amount of time left. So instead, what I could have done, instead of removing the primary character first, I should have headed with my secondary character to this gold card, and while taking this and just clicking, I could have easily removed my primary character outside of the vault. And by doing so, I could have saved at least 8 seconds, and that could mean almost $200,000 or more. So always try to be efficient, because every single second matters inside the vault. For this vault variant, you can see that in the bottom right corner of the screen, the steps that I've written that you should follow are actually different from the steps that I'm following in the video footage. That is because while filming the footage, I ended up doing other steps, because of which I got detected and I was not able to leave on time. In the video footage, you can see that I made an obvious mistake of taking E and D with my secondary character while also taking C with my primary character. If I were following my piece of advice myself of taking 3 gold cards with the character with which I have opened 2 locked doors with, then I should have gone towards B with my primary character, then opened L4, then taken H, and then headed for L2 and F. Meanwhile, I should have taken C, A, E, and D with my secondary character while opening the lock L1 as well. With this variant, you will have to at least skip either D or H or G. In the steps that I have suggested on the screen, you should skip G. If you are wondering why did I use the footage in which I messed up rather than recording again and showing you the footage in which I did the steps myself, that is because these variations in the vault arrangements, these happen randomly and I have no control over those. So I tried like 1,000 times to get this arrangement again, but I was not able to get this, which is why unfortunately have to use this footage finally. At this point with my secondary character, I should have at least taken A instead of directly heading for H. So this was an obvious mistake, and you can also make such mistakes, which is why you have to be very careful and you need to have a lot of practice and experience. I again messed up here with my primary character, because of which I ended up wasting a few seconds, and inside the vault every single second is extremely valuable. Here I messed up with my secondary character, which again resulted in a loss of a few seconds. Therefore, up till now we have at least wasted 7 to 8 seconds because of these little mess ups. With my secondary character, I again made a mistake and went in the other direction, whereas I was supposed to go the other way and exit this locker room. This has resulted in a loss of additional 6 seconds, which including the previous 8 seconds adds up to 15 seconds of loss. Here again I made a mistake with the primary character while switching to the first person mode, which is why I was not able to leave the vault on time, although I could have had enough time to leave the vault. But because of these silly mistakes, I got nervous and ended up failing the mission altogether. Therefore, I cannot stress enough on the importance of memorizing and knowing by heart the different variations you can come across in the vault, and also memorizing the different strategies that you have to take to maximize your take for each variation. Therefore, I suggest that you take this as a homework exercise for yourself so that you can excel at doing the Diamond Casino Heist finale. So now, ladies and gentlemen, I'll just skip over to the more important parts and get out of this man trap. Keeping both the characters close together and moving them in the same direction makes it easier for me to control both of them, because I have to perform the same controls on two different keyboards, which ends up creating a lot of ease for me. Now, one by one, I'll take each character to the laundry room while evading or knocking the guards out systematically. Now I'll take my secondary character through the same steps to the laundry room while avoiding or knocking the guards out appropriately. From this point onward, we'll simply walk out the door in front of the guards. Using my primary character, I'll knock that guard out. From this point onwards, ladies and gentlemen, you can follow this path that I am following through these trees and just go to the main road, then run off to your getaway vehicles. Kareem will always store your getaway vehicles very close to this area, so the getaway vehicles are always very accessible. There are 3 possible locations where Kareem stores your getaway vehicles, but they are all very accessible, so I do not need to show them to you. So ladies and gentlemen, we just simply go into the sewer tunnel to get rid of the cops, and then we go straight ahead towards the buyer. When you are this close to the buyer, make sure you slow down and drive towards the buyer very slowly. When you are a little distance away from the buyer, a cutscene will start, and then the host will have to unplug their Ethernet cable. This is the moment when you see the transaction pending icon at the right bottom of the screen, and the host should immediately unplug their Ethernet cable. By doing so, the host will be able to keep all the prep and setup missions and will be able to replay the heist finale immediately. As you can see, my secondary account, which is the host, has been disconnected from the internet, and now I'll have to reconnect and log into Social Club and then go into an invite only session, and then I'll show you that all the setup and prep missions are still available at my arcade. If you have noticed, I got paid $1.46 million on my primary account within 17 minutes and 8 seconds. As you can see that I still have the Diamond Casino Heist finale available, which means all the preps and setup missions are still available. So the replay glitch or the Ethernet cable trick works, and you can do it as many times as you want. So this is basically a money making machine. So I'm sure you enjoyed this video and learned something from it. So I would really appreciate if you subscribe to my channel and share it with your friends. It's going to help me out. So have a good day, ladies and gentlemen. The Heist Fellow signing out.